Alright, hey there YouTube. It's been a while. I know I said I was coming back. We were going to work on this thing. Haven't done anything yet. Had some stuff come up, and I've been trying to film a video all day, and just things been coming up, so I'm doing one now at night because it's winding down. But I still got to get all this stuff out of the way, get this cleaned off so I can weld. But the local metal yard is changing owners, and they can't sell me anything till they get their stuff in and then get the old owner stuff out. So yeah, so I needed some metal, looked around, found something, found a couple of things, but I'll show you that in a minute. But first, what I had to do is I butted this up against the bottom of the frame, and then I measured from the bottom where my finger is to like the top there, and then I cut the piece of metal that I found, and which is the that piece of channel. It took me all day to find the stupid thing. I knew I had it, you know, right there. And it ended up being, it was like leaning up against that toolbox back there, standing up near the door, and I walked by it I don't know how many times until I finally like stood right about where I'm standing, turned around and saw it. But I cut this piece. So what the plan is with this is I'm gonna cut about 5 holes in it, you know, like kind of the dice pattern, two and then one in the center, to weld to the frame. And this, it's gonna, like if we're facing from, you know, the outside of the vehicle looking in towards the center, this is going to be the outside, and then this would be the back or the front of it, and this will be inside. Making a lot of noise, not getting anywhere. And this will be up against the frame, and that bracket piece that's on the track bar will be up against here. I'll drill the holes. I want to try and drill in 3 so I can plug weld this to that bracket piece. I'm going to cut along here, and I wanted to bend these out, but as I'm looking at this, so that it'd have like tabs to weld up to the bottom of the frame, like drill some holes and then plug weld it. I'm going to end up probably having to find some 1/4 inch thick like strap or something, and I'll just cut out this piece, leave this back piece, and then weld a piece across, and then it'll butt up against the bottom of the frame. It'll butt up underneath there, and then have some holes to weld to the back of this, because I'm not going to be able to get in there to weld to the sides of it. But what I'm going to do is I'll use a straight edge up against the frame and the back side of that, or a magnet or something to get it in there right, and I'll weld this up in there first, around the sides, all these edges, best I can, and then I'll put that piece over it and then weld it all around and to the back side of this, and then to the frame, and that'll hold it in there. But I get going, and if I can, I'm gonna still try to bend these pieces out, but if they are angled, so I'm worried about them not being flat up against it. But in order to bend them, I need a vise, and my vise is right there, and I have nothing to mount it to hold it. Sounds like somebody's walking around. Might be leaves blowing in the wind. I don't know. Almost sounds like dog's claws on the asphalt. But anyway, this right here, you can't see them, but it's some galvanized pipe couplers, 2-inch. I got them in vinegar, and I'm trying to eat the coating off so that I can weld with them. And then light keeps going out. So that's, oops, and this flashlight went out too. Need to charge it. So yeah, so that's in there. I'm gonna leave that overnight. I'll clean it in the morning. That's what that piece is for. Maybe this one will have some juice. Nope, it's gonna die too. It's in the red. Let me see, is this got some light on it? Yeah, this one will work. So it's this big old like work light that I got for off-road stuff. I got another one, I just don't know where it is. I was gonna put it in my kit for working, you know, nighttime camping and stuff, working on stuff. But that's what that piece there is gonna be for. But those are gonna be for table legs, for a welding table. And I'll show you kind of the idea. I got some metal right standing up there that we're going to use, that I bought at the hardware store, since the metal yard is changing owners. And then we'll go out here into the back and I'll show you the basis of the table. Okay, and then we'll show you some other things. Okay. Okay, this piece right here, it's warped, so I'm gonna have to run some pieces. It's bent this way, so I'm gonna have to run some pieces across. I think. And I think once I get these angle pieces are for the edges to make like a table edge, and I'm gonna weld that up in there. I'll weld it all the way around the outside, but I'll just kind of, you know, do some like 1-inch strips welds on the inside. Gosh dang. So, and I'll do it up this edge here. I gotta cut that little piece off, that tab on the end, and then I have a piece of flat stock that I'm going to use just to weld kind of around there for an edge. And I think the vise is going to be mounted there. I'm going to probably upgrade to a larger vise from Harbor Freight, and then those couplers, I'll have to figure out where the bolt holes for the vise is going to be, and then put it around there, and then I'll have to measure over for the other leg, and then for these other 2 legs. And I have the legs right here, I shoved right here. 2 of them, they say rear and the other ones say front, and the reason why is because I measured one with the tape measure, and then I used it to cut another one. Well, I marked it wrong or something, and it ended up being about a 1/16 off. And I could like go and like grind it down and everything, but I just decided to use the tape measure, make an identical one, which I should have done in the first place. Use the tape measure. I was just being dumb, trying to speed up the process, and screwed up. And then I measured the messed up long one and made a copy of it. So I just marked them rears and fronts, because I think this is just going to be a freestanding table. It'll be like in the center, like over, you know, like in here somewhere, you know, where this thing is. More on that here in a minute. But I wanted them to be on the same side instead of in opposite corner, you know, like kind of crisscrossed, so that the table would wobble. I want them on one side. So that's that. I did buy this. I'm going to use it for a chemical cabinet, but I got to find out if I can buy these shelves because it was missing some. I think it was in like somebody was, helping somebody, with some kind of medical care. So they had like medicines and stuff in here, I think. But I think spray cans and stuff will, aerosol cans will fit in these doors, and then I can have oils and things up in these shelves. That's why I bought this, and plus it's metal, not like those plastic ones. Sturdier, can hold the weight of the fluids, and then won't be as flammable, That thing I put wheels on, I don't know if I mentioned that. Got that from my grandpa's house. He had it all full of hardware that only he knew what any of it went to, random stuff. So it's sitting there. I'd like to put it in the garage, that in the garage, but I got a mess in there. And then I'll show you this. I found a purpose for this desk, at least for now. Should have brought out the container I'm going to try to put right there. But the idea is, and this one is not the one I'm going to probably use. I'm going to go back to Walmart tomorrow because these were the only ones they had, and they had just gotten their truck in. So they said they might have the bigger one in there. So what this is though is I have this idea is I'm going to use a kind of a mild solvent, like more of a soap in here to dunk parts, and so I can clean parts and stuff, and this plastic should resist it, and it's just going to be like something like Simple Green or something. And then my idea is on here is that I'm going to put like a spigot with a tube that'll run into a container so I can drain this, and maybe with a filter of some sort to keep grit and stuff out of it, so that when I can clean this out and then just kind of reuse some of the solvent, mix water with it to dilute it. But that's the plan. I'm going to build that table before I get to work on that bracket, and then so I can bend those tabs hopefully. If not, I'll go with the other plan of finding another piece of steel to weld across and make the kind of a T so it'll weld up to the bottom. And it doesn't look like it, but I have been cleaning a little bit. It just seems like I move something and clean it, and then I put the stuff that I moved back instead of being able to find a place for it. So yeah, because I would like to get that little metal cabinet on those casters that I got in here somewhere. I plan on, I think I've talked about it before, I want to raise that shelf up over there and put my sandblaster right in there. And then I don't know where I'm going to put that metal cabinet though, but I think I want to move that drill press over into this corner here. And then I think I kind of want to slide these over, just to about up in there somewhere. I kind of left that open because I was going to put edging, I think, around that door, but I don't really care anymore. Because this whole garage, they did a really weird job. I think behind this sheetrock is that pegboard. At least in some areas. I know right up in this whole area there's pegboard back there. Or whatever maybe it's this stuff. I don't know. It's really weird to me. I think it is pegboard on this side. But this might be no, that's sheetrock too. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, that's where we're at. Because I'm gonna take that cooler back and at least check the store, see if they have the bigger one. That one was 120 quart, and I want to use it to like clean like intakes and little parts and stuff. I could buy a parts washer, but they're like 300 and something bucks for a 40-gallon one, and then I want one a little bigger. Eventually I'd like to get one, or I might even build one, a dunk tank for like engine. I want one that's big enough to put like an engine block in, like a Jeep engine block or something, because I want to get into doing that, you know, building them and stuff like that. So I'm going to go back and see, hopefully they have the bigger one. I'll return that one that I have and then get the bigger one. And then also a little bit on, you know, more on this car. My uncle did say back when I picked this one up that he had another one that I could have, and I might take him up on that if he remembers and is willing to give it to me, because I do have another idea that would probably, because whereas this one, whatever one is my my street car that I want to like fix up and, you know, do stuff with an engine and a transmission and everything, like I want it to look stock and then have all that and then upgrade the suspension to the later model suspension, and or, you know, a better suspension. That's going to take a while. And then I wanted a project like that though. So one of those cars will be that, and then the other one would be, I think, a little bit quicker project. There would be one piece that I would need, which is a section of a floor for part of the project that it might be hard to track down. And then I have pretty much all the parts though to actually start on doing that. So that might be what I do. And then it'll involve some other stuff I got laying around here. I just wanted to kind of throw that in there, that I want to try to keep. I want to get that Comanche done. I need to get it done, and then we'll hopefully, if I can get another car, we would do that, I think. And that one would be not like an immediate thing, getting it finished, but it would be something that we could work on, and I would go. And probably with that project though, I would be doing the work and filming, but I would wait to kind of release the videos until like the project was pretty much done, I guess, like running and driving. So then I can, like, I want to try something with a different intro, you know, like, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll take you through the process of it. I don't know. But I just wanted to bring that up. You know, that I kind of got some more ideas going for another project. And then I'll still be in the process of cleaning. And yeah, so that's that. Alright, we're back working on building that table. I already have like what I'm doing right now is I got it mounted up is straight. This edge right here seemed to be reasonably straight, so I kind of used the square to kind of flush it up a little bit. It's not going to be perfect. It's good enough for me. But what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of going along and cleaning up this edge just a little bit. Come here. She's going in the garage. She knows she's not supposed to, but she's doing it anyway. So I'm cleaning up that edge. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of it, because the other side, where they cut into it with a torch, it's still kind of like jagged and uneven. Oh, it wasn't as hot as how I reacted, but I wanted to pull my hand away just in case. But yeah, it's all jagged right there, and I'm gonna have to weld from the top side and then grind along this edge right here, and kind of clean it up, make it a little better. But I already have these corners. You can kind of see that one and that one, kind of, that they're already cut close to 45s as I can get it. I use the square and the silver marker to mark it. I'm gonna have to go now, and I'll get the welder, and I'll at least kind of tack this on. You know, because like I said, on the inside I'll just do some like 1-inch welds, and then on the outside I'm just going to weld all the way around, so that gives me something to kind of grind and round over. But I'm going to go do that, and then I'll start building these other sides. This side will only need the angle cut here, so these two can butt together, and then it'll need one over there, and then to that corner, and then I still got to cut out this extra little piece, which I have like all my grinders and stuff, each with different attachments. That one's the cutting one, grinding, and then wire wheeling. I probably should take the wire wheel and kind of clean up a little bit more, but I think once I turn that welder to hot, it'll just burn through all that stuff. I did hit it, touch it, got down to some bare metal. Wasn't shiny, but good enough, because like I said, this thing isn't gonna be like off-roading and stuff, but it'll be strong. And then I'll get it all fixed up. But yeah, she's coming along, so let me get back to it, and I'll show you where I'm at a little bit later. Alright, I'm back with a little bit more of this table. This side did pretty good. Like, I haven't welded all the way around. I'll do that later. Got some welds a little bit on the inside. I'll probably do like one here and just one there, just for the heck of it. I did the corner, you know, I got it all squared up, but I didn't realize, because it looked straight from the naked eye, but let's see if you can see that this table is like off. It was this piece of metal, the sheet, this end was like really, it was not cut straight, so it kind of goes in on the angle, so I'm gonna have to figure something out to like fill that in, but at least I can get it done. I'll still weld up in there all the way, and then I'll figure out how to fill that in, whether I just continue welding it and just build it up with the welding rod, or what. So now I just got to cut this. Oh, it's birds. Cut this piece off, and then start making the other sides. So let me get back to that, and I'll bring you back. I'm going to take a little bit of a break right now, because I am getting pretty hot, because you can't really tell, but it is pretty warm. I do have a breeze, but I need to sit down and drink a little bit of water, because I haven't been drinking enough lately. But I'll get back to it, and then hopefully at least get these edges on, and then start mapping out where I'm going to put those deals. I need to go check on them too, so I'll go do that and take a break, and then get back to it, and then bring you back. Alright, we're back. got it pretty much done, all the edges. This side, again, this was another side that was not straight, so I ended up having to cut off part of this angle piece. I had to cut it off, and then I had to cut along there. Then I had to bend that piece of straight, and I just went ahead and welded it all on both sides. I'll touch it up with the grinder on the outside later. I still got to do all the rest of the sides all the way around on the outside. And then it's funny too is I don't know if you can see the difference, but this is my right hand glove and that's my left hand glove, and I was using it to like set or block, you know, or lean against something for stability when I was welding, and it shrunk the, I don't know if you can tell it, but it I sure can. It hardened and shrunk the fingers, so I might try to, I don't know, I thought about trying to soak it in water or something, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just get some more. But yeah, I had to do some different things, but it's coming along. So I'm going to weld I'm going to weld the rest of it. Probably do that tomorrow. It's getting late. I've been working on other stuff too. Went and I think I showed it. I was going to use this table to put that ice chest on for like a parts washer. Well, I ordered one from Walmart, and then it's supposed to be pickup, and they were trying to substitute the one that I'd already had, so I went on Amazon and found one. It was like $2 more, but whatever, it's the one that I was looking for. So I'll take that other one back to Walmart tomorrow, return it, get my money back, because I'm not going to use it. I got how many of these things do I got? I got a couple actually. I think I have like all those. That's one I've had, well, my parents had, you know, since I was a little kid. They had that thing, the blue one on the end. And then I have all these other ones which I used to use, but I haven't been going on trips lately. So yeah, so there's that though, and we'll get it done, and then we'll figure out where we're gonna put the legs. I think it's that cabinet. The heat from the sun is causing it to like stretch and shrink and pop, and kind of freaks me out every now and again because I don't expect it. But yeah, so I'll get this done, and then we'll figure out where we're going to do the legs. That vinegar is working good on those. They're almost done on those couplings, or couplers, or whatever you can call them. So I'll get this done. I think for this corner, these corners, it's going to go ahead, and I'm going to put it at the end, like in this corner against this edge, these edges. And then for over here, since that is rounded, I might move it over a little bit. I might put it for right here maybe, and then just go straight across. So that's going to take some doing. I'll have to use this long straight edge to figure it out, I think. But we'll get that done. But yeah, alright, just wanted to show you where we're at. This is going to turn out pretty good. Just running into those snags, like the ends not being straight, but we'll get it ground down, and we'll weld it up and ground down and looking nice. And it might have It actually might have flattened out because I had to use the clamps to those clamps to like pull the edges of these down, and but I think I probably still will put some gussets, so I'll have to figure that out. I might get some square tubing or something. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I might not need to. I'll get this done and then I'll flip it over and set it on the ground and stand on it. See what it does. But yeah, it'll be cool. So alright, I'm gonna let that cool down and then figure out what I'm gonna do next. So I'll bring you back when we get to another part of it. Alright, and we're back. I did some other things but got it finished. That vinegar trick really worked. I had to let it sit for like, you know, overnight and almost 2 days, but I got them all welded in there. I didn't weld all the way around them, just in like about 4 spots, you know, about an inch or more around. I might flip it back over and weld all the way around them. It is kind of let me try to, I'm holding a flashlight trying to light this thing, but it is a little bit crooked, but I think it's this concrete because I did have it positioned at a different way and it would seem even. So like I did try to tighten a couple of the legs, that one over there and then this one right here, because it's, that one is shorter it seems, or this one, but it's okay. I'll deal with that. And then tomorrow I'll go around the edge with the welder. You can see that it's not straight here, so I think I'm just gonna build that up. I might be able to use part of this piece that I ground off from one of the other spots to kind of to maybe kind of fill in, so I'm not using so much wire. I don't know, I might not. And then what I did over here is I just pretty much put it in wherever I thought, you know, both sides. I did use a straight edge to make sure that I got the other one straight across. So I'm hoping that it's in the right spot, because I hope that if I put a vise here that it's not gonna, you know, start beating on whatever I got. It's not gonna try to tip over. I don't think it will. And then I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna do my bottom shelf, because I want to still be able to spin these legs off, but we'll figure that out later on down the road. It's like I'm 5'10", and that's about that's where my belt line is. So, well, my pants are sagging a little bit. This belt is too big, but it's about good height. It's a little taller than what I had started at, but it's a good height. And I have this across. You can see, I hope you can see, I don't know. There you go. That piece of metal scrap is in the way, and I don't know what it's trying to focus on. But there is a gap. It is sunk in the middle. So eventually I will put some gussets underneath. You know, like I'll flip it over, stand on it, and then weld the gussets in. kind of get rid of that a little bit, but right now it's fine. It's pretty sturdy. I think it's rattling because of this thing. So yeah, so pretty cool. But yeah, I'll get it all done, get it all welded up, and then ground down at least a little bit, get the sharp edges off. Start using it. Perfect. It seems like it's just right. Good size for right now. And then I saw a couple of people on other YouTubers that have like legs that come up and they hold, they can hold axles and stuff, which I might do. I might do something like that, so I can do work on them. But I'm pretty pleased with it, how it is. I mean, you know, clean the top off. It did kind of, some of the sections start burning through the table, but this will be all under that cooler. So, but yeah, there it goes. Now I can start working on the back on the Comanche, hopefully. You know, I'll get that. I'll just go ahead and mount that vise that I have right here, and then I'll, if I ever get another one, I'll worry about that later. But all right, well, I guess that's it. I finished this table for the most part. I'm gonna go ahead and get the vise mounted. There's the vise. I took that wood piece off, got all the bolts out. They are not the right size. They're kind of loose in there, so I want it to be more stable. So I went to the hardware store and I got some hardware to mount this. I'm gonna have to kind of use this bigger bit, 1/2-inch bit that I'm gonna use to drill the holes, to kind of ream those out to allow these 1/2-inch bolts to go through. They kind of almost will through the top, but they won't go all the way through, so I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna use this drill that broke my hand the last time. I'm gonna try to be careful. I already got the holes marked and center punched. I'm just gonna use this vise because it's what I have, and I don't really feel like spending the money to buy another one just yet, when I have one that will work. I need to probably grease it up, which I might do after I get it mounted. But I need to get it mounted so I can loosen this other clamp, so I can rotate it. But let me get started, and then I'll show you when it's done, and then we'll get to work on this thing. I did go down when I picked up those bolts, and I bought this piece of 1/4-inch thick stuff. Oops, sorry for the noise. I think it'll be thick enough. I think it'll be plenty thick. And the idea that I have now is because since that other bracket piece that's on the that's hanging on the Jeep on the track bar is going to be raised up and welded to the frame, at least as far as I can tell. I don't know. It keeps changing. I think the easiest thing for me to do would be to take this piece of metal, and when I cut the I'll just cut these pieces out, these side pieces. Dang it. And then I'll just weld it in there. Now I could potentially just weld that other bracket piece into this and then weld this whole thing to the frame. But I don't know, like I gotta decide, and I don't know what would be the best way to go about doing it. Otherwise, I'll take this piece and I'll make some L brackets, and then I will weld them to the sides of this, so it'll be like welded up the side. Like I'll drill holes in a couple places to plug weld it to this, and then I'll weld around it, and then I'll have a piece sticking out the side on either side. Then I'll, with holes to plug weld to the frame, and then I'll weld around it. That's gonna make this thing more heavy, but might give it a little more strength. And I think that might be how I go. I might just make some L brackets, and then out of this piece, and then yeah, I might just do that. But let's get this thing done, this table done, at least as far as mounting this vise, because I don't have to weld around this corner. I will have to grind a little bit with the grinder, but yeah, let me finish this, and I'll bring you back when we get that done. Alright, I'm back. I know I said I'd just bring you back when it was all done, but I wanted to point this out again. I keep making these mistakes, but I was drilling and I'm like, I should be about through now, and then I was like, you know what, I bet you I just screwed up. And so I kind of, with the drill still in it, come on baby boy, get, I look down here and it's gonna interfere with this leg. It's getting into it, and I should have paid better attention to that. Gosh dang. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm probably gonna go ahead and use that hole over there. I'm just gonna have to adjust for these other holes somehow, and yeah, so I don't know, all I can say is, you know, you gotta pay attention, and I'm not doing that apparently. So let me get this all remarked out and figured out, and we'll get back to it, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of a pain that I did that. I wish it would have been down through the center, because then all I would have had to done is support, you know, like flip the table over, put the vise on, take the leg off, and then run the bolt through the center of the leg. But that's not what's going to happen. I should have, initially what I should have done is I should have got that vise, put it up here, drilled these holes, and then figured out where I was going to put the legs. But I didn't do that. Thought I was smart, but alright, well, enough feeling sorry for myself. I'll bring you back when when I figure something out, and when it is actually done. Alright guys, we're back. Got this thing mounted up. Again, I was screwing up. I had two bags of bolts. This bag had those bolts in it, and then I had these ones. While I was trying to measure off of those ones, and those are like bigger than 9/16, or around 9/16 anyway. And so I ended up drilling the holes a little too big, but one of them was off by a little bit. So, and they weren't, it's not like they were like super big, but once I got these in there and tightened them down, they snugged this vise down. I used the impact and a wrench to tighten them down, and I think I already mentioned that other hole right there. I started to drill it, and it was coming out where the leg was. So this is done. Yeah, well, I did drill out these holes and I guess I didn't need to, but it feels like it's on there pretty tight, and I have lock nuts on there, thick washers, and use that piece of square tubing to loosen up this other side so that I could rotate it to where it's at now. But yeah, now I can work on stuff a little easier, and I think having that rounded edge kind of helps. So I'm gonna have to finish welding up this table. I'll probably just kind of do a little as I go, because I really want to get started on this piece. See, this is not the piece that I want to use. This is the piece that I'm going to use for this bracket. Oh, jeez. I don't want this floating all over the place. The dogs already went into the garage. I took a break, and they found he found a can of that cheese spread stuff, and he like ripped into it, and it looked like he was eating the whole can, so he might be pooping blood or something. I don't know, I hope not. But yeah, this is the piece we're going to use, so I'm going to go ahead and measure where that little bracket is going to go. I'll mark it, and then I will start cutting into this thing and making what I need, clean it up, and then call it good. But yeah, I'm going to use this flat stock to make some L brackets and that vise. And I'm thinking too, like, I wanted to bring this up, is this I'm kind of tired of having to use drills and drill bits and stuff for a lot of stuff, so I'm thinking of making, I mean, it would have been hard to get that big old piece of metal up in here, but at least for like stuff like that piece and this thing, like the holes, I'm thinking of getting some stuff for a like a punch, a metal punch. I can just punch holes through this. I've been looking at them online, but they're pretty expensive. And I'm thinking of building something for this. I'm thinking of getting an air, the pneumatic 20-ton jack. I saw another YouTuber who modified his, and he has like a foot pedal, and he put wheels on it. I think I'm going to do something similar, but I'm thinking about making a kind of a tray that I can like slip in here. It'll fit over, and it'll line up with this and have like a sleeve, hopefully, that will slide over this, and maybe have some set screws that will hold it on there, and then take the punches for those machines to and the dies will go in the bottom plate, and it'll come down and it'll just punch a hole right through the metal. Nice clean hole. So I'm thinking about building something like that, and I need to get on that because I need it now. So I need to draw it up, and then I'll show you, and I'll get like a knob so I don't have to use this handle anymore. And yeah, I'm thinking of doing that. And then I guess this one doesn't have a, must be the newer or the older ones that had a plate that these screwed down into, but I guess this one doesn't. So I can just put that cylinder up on there. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing, is building an attachment and setup for this that I can just punch holes through steel. And I just use different bits or whatever, you know, different punches and dies to punch size holes that I need. So I'm gonna go kind of look some more at that before I get started on this. But I'll bring you back. Maybe I'll draw something up and try to explain it to you what I mean. But I'll bring you back here after a bit.